Hey everybody, ChristopherOdd here. Today we're checking out something very bizarre. This is called The Hell. And it's a city resource management builder, but like not at all, if that makes any sense. We are processing souls into sinners, and these souls came from natural disasters within our history, ranging as far back as like, I think 650 BC up until a more recent one, the earthquakes in Kanto, Japan, which is, I think, the mission that we're going to tackle today. It's really bizarre. It's this old school art style, and it's this cool twist on a city builder that I personally have never seen. So I'm excited to show it to you. It's developed and published by Metropolis. These guys are a Malaysian indie studio with clearly some really neat ideas, and they're also sponsoring today's video, so thank you so much for that. I'm excited to show this one to you, and we're gonna dive in because I can only show you a certain amount. I can only show you about 30 minutes here. I'll have links down below. I'm gonna skip this intro as much as I'd like to play it for you. I want you to be able to see as much of the gameplay as possible. So at launch, there's gonna be 4 different scenarios or missions. We are going to tackle the Earthshaker here. This is the one that I was talking about in Kanto, Japan, with this giant earthquake. I'll let this intro roll, and then we'll pick up from there.
1923 Great Kanto Earthquake. The powerful earthquake and subsequent tsunami that struck Tokyo and Yokohama caused widespread devastation and had far-reaching consequences for Japan. At 11:55 a.m., the vessel experienced pronounced trembling and vigorous vibrations. Upon observing the shoreline, it became apparent that a significant earthquake was underway. Subsequently, structures collapsed in multiple directions, enveloped by billowing clouds of dust that obstructed visibility. As the dust settled, fires emerged in various locations, ultimately leading to the complete engulfment of the city in flames within a mere 30-minute time span. The earthquake was so powerful that it shifted the great Buddha statue in Kamakura, which weighed about 110 tons and was almost 60 centimeters tall, even though it was almost 60 kilometers from the epicenter. The estimated casualties totaled about 142,800 deaths. Just as it is above, so it is below. We are ready to welcome the arrival of souls coming soon.
It's a family-based game, clearly. Feel-good situation here. They are going to tutorialize a lot of things here. I'll skip through a lot of it because some of it is basic if you've played any type of city builder. I'm going to skip this little opening cinematic as well, and I'll explain all the buildings and stuff that we see in here right away. Okay, so this is what we start with. This is Hell.
Governor overseeing this domain, it is crucial that you pay attention.
Got it.
The previous governor has vanished under mysterious circumstances. Rumor has it that
Little
Lucifer
sus.
banished him, while others believe he managed to escape hell. Regardless of the truth, it is imperative for you to familiarize yourself with the fundamentals.
Okay, so what we're seeing here is this is called the Wait. Now this is where all of these little wandering souls that will come in from time to time, if we have space for them, to be processed into sinners. And those sinners will take on different roles, and we'll assign those roles over here at the Purgatoria. Now, these little sinner guys that are already in here, we can send these to do things. They can haul, they can mine, they can build, that kind of stuff. And we will make all those assignments. Those are the souls. Now, you're going to notice a couple little lines here. These are like blood lines that flow from these hearts that are basically bringing up blood. And we need to make sure that we have enough blood to produce and essentially power our buildings, and then we use that to get into waste, which we use to actually build things. We have cries that are used to power certain buildings and are used for upgrades, and then we have fear over here. So it'll be interesting to see how far we get. Wish me luck. Souls come to hell scattered all over, but they can't be agitated at this stage. Once they're waiting for too long, though, they can be. Now, I'm going to actually probably skip ahead of where it's going to tutorialize us, but that's okay. I'm going to say, yes, we know all of this stuff. A couple of things down here. So bottom left, we've got this exclamation that you can tick on, and that's going to give you your first little bit of goals that you can try to hit. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up some huts, and we need these to provide housing for our sinners. So these need to be built along the blood paths, and I need to have 6 of them. So we're going to get that going. We can change the game speed as well. Here's the user interface explaining some of this stuff. The top left that I didn't explain are souls waiting to be processed, sinners, which are processed and are essentially our workers. We have soldiers, which defend against sadists. So sadists will spawn in randomly, and we have to be building different types of soldier units to deal with that. Souls can become calm, agitated, or angry while they're waiting, so you want to be processing them as quickly as you can, and then you turn them into these sinners. The sinners can then be turned into haulers, miners, builders, which I've explained, soldier sadists, which I've explained, and then those resources, which I've also explained. So, what I'm going to do while this is happening is I'm going to start to connect some blood paths here. And you can see like some of these darker sections, those are existing blood paths that are not connected. From time to time, we're going to get these decrees. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. There's usually a trade-off. Think like Frostpunk, right? When you get a choice that you need to make. I'm just going to connect up all of these things. There's a couple of key buildings that we're going to want to be connected. Welcome to Hell. We get to choose our first decree. So most souls are calm in nature, but some deviants are more prone to anger and agitation. They're going to be white when neutral, yellow when agitated, red when angry. Once a soul becomes angry, it turns into a slitter or a shallow. Slitter will kill other souls and units, while a shallow will sneak into your building and steal resources. So we can either reduce global agitation by 10%, but increase the rate of souls turning by 10%. Or increase agitation by 10%, but decrease turning chances by 10%. I'm going to take the first option here, and I will continue to quickly build out our path. Now, you can see which decrees are active here just by clicking on this if you want, but since there's only one, we know what's going on there. I'm going to connect this building down here. This is going to be very important. It's a needle cage in which you essentially put your workers to generate tears or cries. And those are used for building upgrades and things like that. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is build all of these houses. Now, nothing's going to happen right now, okay? This is just telling us how to build blood paths and the blood, which I've explained already. We need to go over here and check out the Purgatoria. We need to assign a percentage of our people to do hauling. We need people to do mining, and we need people to do building. We do need eventually some people to be just idle or available to go be turned into other things. But for right now, we'll just assign something like this, and it should be fine. Okay, so now that people are starting to be turned into sinners, you can see here, these guys are turning into sinners. They are going to go and start producing based on these sliders that I just set at the Purgatoria. So if we check down here, you can see they're waiting for resources to come in. They're going to use this waste, which we are not producing yet, but right now you're just going to notice people starting to bring things over there, and then they will start to actually build. So resources delivered, and then it will actually start the building process. While that's happening, I'm going to kind of skip ahead here. And I'm going to start building some of our resource gathering stuff. So here's these waste piles that we can harvest. And if we go into the building here, we can go into the, we're going to go into the waste pile stuff. Set this on here. That's going to start to build. And then in order to actually use this waste and turn it into something that we can use, we need a refinery. So I'm going to place that, I would say, relatively close by here, so it's a little bit more efficient. And then I'll build some roads out to that. The roads also increase the speed at which our sinners can travel. So maybe I'll give these guys a nice path straight from here, as close as I can, and they can go wherever. Now we can remove these existing ones if we want. That's not a huge deal at this point, but eventually space may become a little bit of a premium. So if you want to clean this up, then feel free. As far as I can tell, these are all free to do. You can make these paths wherever you want, but they do use up your rather limited space here. Now, we've got some like stray housing out here. I'm going to connect those up so that those become available, and that's great. Okay, so now, in these buildings, you need to click this top button, and you can assign different things to them. So I can assign a certain amount of labor to that if I want. Up here, this is under construction. I'm just going to speed up time a little bit. These little spires that we're seeing, Towers of Hate, Towers of Death, and Towers of Fear, these are used to house some of our soldiers, which we'll get into shortly. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself just yet. But now the 6 that we are tasked to build are almost done. Okay, so do we have any other rogue buildings? We do. Let's connect these up as well. And some buildings actually need blood to be flowing to them. Some of them I just like to have so that people can travel a little bit faster. These hearts, they produce blood, and they are connected to blood paths to function. And then it's talking about the refinery and waste pile that I've already gone ahead and done ahead of time. And you can see how much we're producing here. So now it's going to want me to build and maintain 2 hearts. Actually, because I skipped ahead and did that, I wonder if it will give me credit for that or not. We'll have to see. Let's place one along the path here. And let's place one over here along that path. And we'll let those things kind of just go. And then I'll build some more roads here. And let's just set this like so. We can connect to over here. And then that'll all flow nicely so people can kind of get everywhere. Do I have any other rogue housing or buildings? I don't think so. We're set up. Oh, yeah, actually, there is one. Let's connect that little guy there. And otherwise, I think that's good for right now. Okay. So, the laborers are bringing all the stuff. They're going to build these hearts, and that will build and maintain and get this done. Now, if it wants us to build other ones, we'll have to see, but we'll go from there. Okay. Do I have that connected? I do now. So these refineries do need blood to operate on, so that's why we need to continue to produce hearts. These are producing 12 per second. You can hover here and see your total production. And the red is indicating what's being used, and the green is indicating what's being produced. So now it's going to talk about those waste piles, giving us a little introduction to our, like, essentially god down here, the fish. He's pretty nice. Okay. The refinery, it's talking about that, which I've already explained, the raw waste. Forgive me that I'm going pretty quick here because I just want to show you as much of it as I possibly can in 30 minutes. Now we've got some of these guys around that are going to kind of mess with our world, and we need to figure out ways to punch back. So it did actually catch that I skipped this already.
Gargantuan being is fated to serve as a gateway for souls destined for hell.
She's talking about this. And so now, because I have production going here, I'm actually going to assign some security to this, and I'm going to assign some laborers to this. I'm going to put 10 here because I want to be getting more raw waste so that we are able to build things. This is our core building is resource, I should say, is the waste. Now, we have another decree. As the flow of souls increases rapidly, your soul population will grow exponentially. Souls are both a blessing and a curse, serving as the essential component for sinner transmogrification. However, inadequate governance will lead to the spread of murderous slitters and greedy shallows. So the slitters will kill our workers, and the shallows will steal our resources. Now, there's a couple of things that we can do here. Sentry guards, these protect our buildings, which helps to deal with stealing resources. The sirens, they will actually calm souls to prevent agitation so that more of them don't turn into the bad guys. And then we have stalkers, which will seek out sadists and destroy them. So I think what we're gonna do here is, if I take 3 stalkers, that's also gonna bring in 15 shallows. And the shallows are the ones that are gonna hunt and kill our guys. So, can I deal with that? We'll find out. Let's bring in 3 stalkers and see how much they can handle that. In my testing, I didn't choose that option, so I want to see what's going to be different there. Okay, so now what it wants us to do is build an eternal servitude. This is essentially like a barracks, and the barracks is going to allow us to produce more of those types of units. Now, those types of units that I just explained, the sentries, the sirens, and the stalkers, they need to reside in these towers. Towers of hate, towers of fear, and towers of death. And those are all specific to the different types of units. So let's get this built. Because we're already generating tiers down here, that's really helpful because we actually need that for this building. So our haulers are going to bring all this stuff. And we should be okay here. I actually may grab an extra heart just to kind of keep this. I don't know where this should be long term. I may also want to start generating or getting another refinery up so I can get way more raw waste if I want to build faster. Let me throw down, let me see, where can I put another one here? Let's throw this down, and then I'm going to build a road to that. And I could even consider building another refinery. So now, here we go. This is telling us how we can change the sinners into the soldiers. And we have to do this. We have to select the thing. That's all good. And it does tell you what each of these things do, but I've already explained that. And it tells you what those enemy types are, and I've already explained that. Okay? Towers of hate for the sentries, death for the sirens, fear for the stalkers. Okay. Let's set up another waste pile here. And I just want to be generating, I would say, considerably more waste than what I'm generating right now. And that's going to require these things to be set up and running. I have 136 sinners, so you can get a breakdown here of what's available and what's not. I'm going to need some people to be freed up to be transmogrified, okay? So if I go here into the Eternal Servitude, click that top button. If you're playing this and you don't click that top button, you might be like, oh, what do I do? Where do I see things? So you can see what a sentry is going to cost here, okay? It's going to cost 1,200 waste, 30 tiers. I need 8 sinners and sufficient housing. Anything in green is stuff that we have the capability already, and anything in red we need to make. So we temporarily had 0 waste because we were building these refineries and stuff. Let's set up a couple of security here. If I look at my soldiers page, so let's see, where are they? I have 8 stalkers. I've got 5 sirens. I think these are assigned units. So 8 out of 6. I don't know how that works. I probably... Oh, because of our decree. Because we have extra, I think. And then the siren and the sentries. So we'll put a couple security there. We have 3 over here. That's fine. And we need to assign laborers to both of these. But that means we're going to have less people that can actually... mine and haul and that kind of stuff, right? So I'm going to drop this a bit because I do want some free units here. I'm going to drop this by just a bit, this by just a bit, and this by just a bit. I do like that this is percentage based. You're not getting into like a super detailed view of like micromanaging your guys to the nth degree. Now we do have warehouses here, and we can upgrade these for more storage space. You can also say, okay, I don't want to store cries here, and then that will double the storage of the waste and the fear. Or you can turn off 2 and it will like triple the storage of the remaining one. But for now, we can just store all of these and go from there. I think that's okay. All right. So let's start converting. So I need some sinners here. I'm going to just turn that on, and you're going to see it's starting to pull those idle sinners into there. and it's going to start converting into a sentry. I do need to make 4 of them, I believe. Yeah, I need 4. So there we go. Let's let that go. This is about as far as I got in my testing. I had to like really take in, like, as you saw, there was a lot of tutorializing stuff, and it was pretty good. There's a couple of things where I got stuck, and most notably, like these buttons at the top here. I don't know if that was clearly explained in the actual tutorial, because I was like, I can't see how to activate this building. But now I've got a decent handle on the interface, and once you figure it out, then you're good. So we're gonna let this produce 4 sinners here. Now you'll notice I can only create sentries. I can only create sentries right now. Why is that? Well, sirens require this Eternal Servitude building to be level 2. And you can see down here the cost of upgrading this. It's pretty heavy because those tiers, they're not coming in super fast. So I actually may want to up this. I'm going to up these numbers and draw more of our guys into that. That's probably going to slow down some of our mining and things like that. But I'm going to need this sooner rather than later. So we'll just let that do its thing. At this point, I can't actually build more of these needle cages. So we'll have to see if there's something that unlocks that. What I'll do here is let me build another heart. Let's throw this down. And this should be our 4th. Oh, it's our 3rd. Okay, so we need 1 more of those. Now, if you want, you can click on these guys. These are the sentries, right? These guys protect your buildings. They're basically our tank units. And let's see how our souls are doing. So we are getting some agitation here, right? They're turning into that agitated state. Some are angry. It's not ideal, but like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So we'll just do our best to process them. I should probably set up some more housing as well, and that way we'll reduce those wait times. So let's set up a nice little row here. I don't know if that's too much. Maybe. And then if I'm building more sentries right now, let's throw up a Tower of Hate there. And so far we're doing well. I'm running everything on like fast speed here. Our current soldiers, Stalkers, Siren, Sentries, are handling the sadists quite well. But if we don't control this, you see all these angry souls out here? Those guys are going to have a turning chance. And that could become problematic. We could just be in a state where we can't keep up with the amount of stuff that they're stealing or the amount of workers that they're killing. So we'll keep our eye on it. Now, we can upgrade and salvage. So salvaging a building is dangerous. If huts or towers are salvaged, base housing provided to the respective sinners or soldiers becomes 0. And then no more of them will be available until you build their housing. Again, makes sense. Which is why I'm taking a preemptive approach here to try and make sure that doesn't happen. However, we do want to upgrade the Eternal Servitude. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And it's already told me to do it, but I've done it ahead of time, so that's cool. With the tutorials, what's really nice is it is step by step. So it'll tell you, click this, you click it, and you get the checkbox. And you do the next one, you get the checkbox. You can really focus on doing things step by step and not getting too lost when you're following those tutorials. Okay, so let's let this run. I need resources to be delivered here. Now, let me check my haulers here. Can I put that up a little bit more? I don't need too many more idle. Let's do that. And I don't need a ton of people on building because the other stuff's a little bit more important. I have the resources here. But the other thing that might be drawing into that is the amount of labor that I have in here. So I have 560 tiers right now. I'm just going to drop that a tad. You'll see those guys, they immediately left. Okay. Now there is this bug right here, and I've encountered this a couple of times where like your screen kind of just goes nuts for a second and I can't control any of this. It's just kind of crazy. So let me see if I can break this. Okay, perfect. Now, let's go ahead. I'm playing on a pretty early build here too, by the way, in case you're wondering. So there's definitely going to be a couple of bugs here and there, but we can deal with that. Okay, so that got its stuff delivered. That one's kind of on hold. I probably have stretched my guys a little thin by building all of this stuff so quickly. So my haulers are going to be going to maybe the most recent buildings first. I'm not sure how they prioritize it. But either way, I would like to have more workers available anyways. So that's, I don't think, a bad priority here. We'll just wait for these to finish. This one's good. These ones are almost having all the resources there. And let's see. We can see where, like, it'd be cool if there was a heat map almost of where your workers are. And you can get in here and, like, check on individual workers and see what they're doing, right? This guy's going to the warehouse. You can see what's being stored there. This is a, oh, can I click on you? A stalker here. Eternal Servitude, level 3. Sinners may become a stalker who will actively seek out the sadist units and destroy them. Pretty sick. So we have a few of those around. That's based on that decree that we picked. This is one of my personal challenges in city builder games is I'm like, okay, I have all these resources. I'm just going to spam a whole bunch of stuff. And then it's like, okay, now I got to wait for it to happen. I don't know if that's the same for you guys, but I get a little bit excited in what I have available, you know? 89% there. Now this one's delivered. That's great. This one still needs some tiers. Okay, so now we could make sirens there. And there we go. It wants us to make 3 sirens. So if I do that, let's go ahead and do this. We need tiers, we need sinners, we need sufficient housing, which we have. And the sinners are going to start to go there once we select this. So you see that sinner number building up. I'm really kind of racing here because I want to see how much I can show you in 30 minutes. But I'm in uncharted territory right now, so I don't know what it's going to ask me to do next. I am very interested, though. So we can knock 3 of these out because we have the resources. I should maybe get another heart going. Can we upgrade hearts? Oh, damn. Yes, I just wanted to look at it, but yeah, we can. So if we get this one upgraded, I'm curious to see how much a heart 2 will produce over a heart 1, because this does 12 per second. Look at our blood usage right now. Like, it's really, really low, or it's really, really high, our usage. So it eats into our production pretty heavily there. I'm also keen to see what the difference is between all of the different scenarios. This one is obviously the introductory scenario, and I think pretty straightforward. But it's such a wild idea, you know? I think it's such a cool take on the genre. Okay, as like an ultimate tease here, it's telling us we need to get ready for the next stage. So this is the sort of timeline. Now, time in this game isn't just minutes. It's actually based on how many souls you're processing, which is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get us to this next stage, and I'm going to show you what happens there. Okay, so this icon represents the order of your subject. The pledge symbol represents submission. All matters are swiftly and solemnly as they should be. But if a fist symbol is there, okay, order, we have a decree. Submission and rebellion permanently increase their effect by 10%. Submission and rebellion permanently reduce their effect by 10%. In a submissive environment, people tend to stay calm and collected. Sinners work better. However, in a rebellious, the opposite will occur and it can be dire. Huh. So both of these things go up or down. Let's go, we'll increase that. Slavery is a form of social acceptance. Okay, yeah, this is cool. I really would love to show you more, but I'm only allowed to show you 30 minutes. I've already gone over. So, yeah, I'll probably have to have edited some stuff out to get us into that 30-minute time frame. But either way, this is really neat. I think, if I'm being honest, I think some of you guys are going to be turned off by the art style because it's a little bit more retro, old school. But I don't know. To me, that doesn't really play a huge factor. The gameplay is neat, and it's really creative the way that they're doing this. And I think if you're into city builders, it's definitely worth checking out. I'll leave you with some footage that the developer sent me to show you some of the details that you can see just by zooming in and getting acquainted with some of your sinners. And then also some of the end game scenes that can happen. There's some earthquake stuff that will be in here and the screen will crack. This is going to happen when the Titan Namazu gets hungry and angry, causing this earthquake. And then the winning scene at the end of this, in the final stage, you can use this choker to subdue the Titan, and you have to offer sinners as sacrifices to actually win the game. And then when this is happening, you unlock this little victory soundtrack and stuff. So pretty cool to check out. If you guys are interested as well, they did mention that early access is going to officially launch next month on October 15th. Until then, though, anybody can get a free closed beta key by signing up to their Discord server, and I'll have links down below for that as well. So join the Discord, get a free key for the game, and then contribute to making it better. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of the clips.